Here's a collection of actual crimes committed by really dumb criminals. Just sit back and enjoy the insanity as we present. Stupid crime stories you just won't believe. In 2022, a farmer in Suffolk, England was wanted by police after committing bank fraud that totaled close to $1 million. He also had previous convictions from 2020 where he was given a 12-week jail sentence. In addition, he was suspended from doing business for 18 months. But as soon as the period was up, he was back at it again. According to court records, 35-year-old Wayne Parker ran a fraudulent business where he scammed creditors out of $970,000 in goods and services. He later admitted to paying other businesses with checks from accounts with insufficient funds or accounts that were closed. In one instance, he simply refused to pay the invoice for bales of hay for his animals. As a result, some of his victims wound up having to sell personal possessions and lay off employees. Parker was eventually arrested and convicted of fraud in 2022. However, he never showed up for sentencing. A police spokesperson had this to say: "Mr. Parker has repeatedly said he would return to Suffolk to face the consequences of his actions. But so far, he has failed to do so. He knows it's only a matter of time before the law catches up with him. We would strongly urge him to surrender sooner rather than later." Parker managed to evade police for about 6 months. He even hired drivers to get around town and avoid detection. But like so many other people running from the law, this man got a little too comfortable with his freedom. In fact, he was so sure police could not find him that he decided to post his picture on a dating website. Yes, this man was so bold that he advertised himself on the popular dating site called Match.com. With so many victims out there, it was only a matter of time before someone noticed him and notified law enforcement. Police even used his photo from the dating site as a wanted poster. Parker was finally located and arrested. So in the end, he posted his picture on a dating site and wound up getting a date. That is, a date with the courts. Not exactly what he was looking for, but a date nonetheless. In 1992, Francisco Legaspia was indicted in California on 3 counts of aiding and assisting in the presentation of false tax returns. For example, in 1989 he claimed to have made about $46,000 while he actually made over $140,000. Legaspia was indicted in August 1992. In November of that year, he pleaded guilty to 1 count of preparing a false tax return, as a plea bargain. His sentencing was then scheduled for January 1993. However, just 1 day before he was to be sentenced, he decided not to show up. Instead, he left for Mexico. He was then charged with failure to appear and a warrant was issued for his arrest. Legaspi lived as a fugitive in Mexico for some time and later moved to Canada. He continued to live a low-profile life for nearly 20 years. That's a pretty long time to stay hidden from the feds. So perhaps he thought they had stopped looking for him. But what he did next makes absolutely no sense for a fugitive. Mr. Legaspi actually set up a Facebook page for himself. Of course, Facebook accounts are created so people can find you. That's not what you want to do if you're supposed to be hiding. After all, Facebook is seen by people all over the world. This includes federal law enforcement agencies. Perhaps he didn't realize that these agencies communicate with each other, even in other countries. Thus, once the State Department's Bureau of Diplomatic Security saw his page, they notified the Royal Canadian Mounted Police in 2012. Legaspi was then extradited back to the United States. He had no choice but to plead guilty to failing to appear. What else could he say after not showing up for 20 years? He was sentenced to 21 months in prison. That equates to 1 month for every year he was missing. He also faced up to $500,000 in fines. The lesson here should be pretty obvious. When it comes to unpaid taxes, you can pay them now or you will pay them later. Mr. Legaspi learned that even after 21 years, when it comes to tax evasion, you can run, but you cannot hide. In 2012, A 20-year-old Jenkins, Kentucky man pulled a prank that he thought would be funny. In fact, he thought it would be so funny that he even took a picture and posted it on his Facebook page. After his arrest, the suspect told reporters that he and his girlfriend were bored, so they thought it would be a good idea to prank the police. Prank the police? When is that ever a good idea? And why would you take pictures and post it online? That's called evidence. Well, he soon found out it wasn't a good idea. That's because police arrested Michael Baker for posting this picture on Facebook. Here he is seen posing next to a Jenkins County patrol car. He also has a red container attached to a hose. The hose is inserted in the tank of the patrol car. In other words, he appears to be stealing gasoline. Notice that he also proudly gives the middle finger in the process. We also can't ignore the fact that the Jenkins County police markings on the car are clearly visible. And while we certainly don't condone this guy's actions, we do have to ask an obvious question. Why didn't he at least wear a mask while doing this? Then perhaps it would have looked funny. Instead, it looks rather foolish. Baker's girlfriend actually took the photo and posted it online. She claimed they weren't really stealing gas, otherwise they wouldn't have posted it on Facebook. She said they were just taking a funny picture. Well, that's easy to say once you've been caught, but a picture is worth 1,000 words. Even Baker himself admitted that he was trying to get gas, but since there wasn't much in the tank, he was only able to pull a small amount. The theft didn't even come to the Jenkins City Police Department's attention until the photo was posted on Facebook. It quickly circulated around the small town of 2,000 residents. Obviously, Jenkins police didn't think the prank was funny. They issued a warrant for Baker's arrest and he wound up spending a night in jail. He was charged with theft by unlawful taking. In these types of silly pranks, you'd expect the perpetrator to admit it was a stupid thing to do. But that is not what happened here. After he was released, Baker went on Facebook and posted the following comment. Laughing out loud. I went to jail over Facebook. It was funny as hell though. Because of this incident, Jenkins County Police said they would consider putting lockable gas caps on their patrol cars. Be sure to like and subscribe to this channel. Our weekly videos will feature such topics as stupid crime stories, classic TV, and the real stories behind popular songs from the past and present. There will be even more categories as we continue to grow.